Hey there, USPSA people. The war with the board of directors, the legacy board. The war goes on, as it has for years and will for some more time anyway. So I have an update for you. I'm having a lovely time in Texas. It's a little cold today, but I want to sit outside anyway because I like the vibe. Anyway, we got a couple of news items to talk about. First, Area 8 director went on a long-form podcast. Link in the description down below if you want to listen to it. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. It's worth your time if you're interested. These guys, the legacy board, they don't talk much in public. They really don't. So when they do, you should pay attention. They put thought into it. Their statements in public online, they tend to be pretty thought out. Like they're not just shooting from the hip. not like I do. No, these guys, they think about it. So it's worth listening to, the Area 8 director. And a lot of people have listened to it. I posted some clips to Instagram. Other people have posted clips. I'm not going to lie, the podcast that the Area 8 director went on, it irritates a lot of people. Like this guy, they're like, what the hell? Like, what's going on with this guy? So it's good to talk about it, and it'd be good for you to listen to it, good for people to discuss it, because again, they're getting more insight into what's going on in USPSA, what's been going on, and what's likely to happen in the future. Really interestingly, and I posted this clip to Instagram. If you want to go just listen to this clip, it's on my Instagram profile. The Area 8 director was saying, hey, I don't really know what the protest is even about exactly. I'm not sure how to end it. A lot of you have written emails to them, communicated with these guys, and I feel like the demands are pretty clear. So obviously this was kind of doesn't sound credible when the Area 8 director's like, I'm not really sure what they even want. I don't know. Over the course of an hour podcast, it's difficult for people not to let things slip that don't make sense or sound crazy. And that was one of those things, you're listening to that, you're like, there's no way that this guy believes what he's saying. There is absolutely no way. And that was a very interesting moment. Another really interesting moment, when he explained why, Russell Fortney, the Area 8 director, was in charge of, I think he was chair of the committee, that, hey, we're going to put Bruce 1 and we're going to put Sherwin back on the board. And he explained that as hey, these guys just have a lot of experience. You're not a USPSA member for 20, 25 years unless you love USPSA. We just want these guys for a short time, blah, blah, blah. None of this is personal, that kind of stuff. And you listen to that, and it's this is why the Area 8 director is interesting, because he's kind of slippery. If you listen to that at face value, you're like, okay, that sort of makes sense. But in the context of all the stuff that's happened over the last few years, you're just like, how could this guy possibly think that this is going to fly? And it's really interesting if you square other things that we've heard from other area directors, like Ben Barry's talked about this. I'm not sure if Frank's talked about it, but we got some pretty good insight into what Fortney was about during the meeting when he proposed, hey, we're going to bring back Bruce 1 and we're going to bring back Sherwin. He sent out an email with that information while he was talking. He sent an email to the rest of the board with that decision. Again, he withheld that intentionally, and then as he does, he's kind of smiling and effing you at the same time as he, sends out the email while he's changing his mind to the board. This is that kind of stuff is clearly deceptive, it's done to be deceptive. And then you're just like, oh, okay, now I understand why this guy's doing this. I understand what's going on here. If you go listen to the podcast with the Area 8 director, he isn't mean. He doesn't really use naughty no-no words. But at the end of the day, you're just listening to this, and if you critically assess it, kind of break it apart piece by piece, square it with other information we have, you're just like, no, this is really deceptive in nature. That's what this is about. He does this stuff this is part of the plan to be deceptive. Hell, at one point he's saying, he said he has no personal issue with Frank Frank or Scott, no issues with them. That what happened with them is not personal. People should assess it on a case-by-case basis. And if you listen to just this podcast, you're like, okay, that sounds kind of reasonable. Okay. But then again, you square it with other things other things we've seen. This is the same guy that posted on Facebook maybe 6 weeks ago or a couple months ago that these guys on the board were involved in a conspiracy to destroy USPSA. Like this same guy, Fortney, saying, yeah, I don't have a problem with Scott. I don't have a problem with Scott. But he accused him of being part of a conspiracy to destroy USPSA just a couple months ago. It's just like those two things, they don't play together. Clearly, he's lying. Which one do you think was the lie? I mean, I think on the pod, I don't believe what he's saying. I can't believe what he's saying. It's crazy. It doesn't square with anything that's happened or anything he's said in the past. Anyway, you should go give that a listen. It's good. One of the really interesting conversations, and this will get to the next piece of news. Bruce Gray is back, baby. He is back at it. One thing that Russell talked about is like, hey, there's this stuff that's happening online, and that's the online world. And like, if people just don't look at that, they ignore the online stuff, like everything's great. And he kind of, at one point, he kind of lamented the old days. He's like, oh, it used to be, 15 years ago, there'd be some issue or some disagreement at a match, and you just kind of talk to the guys a little bit about it, and then it would just kind of go away. If there's some problem, some issue, just a couple people are upset or whatever, you talk to them, and it's done. I hated those days. I hated them because every single time we get screwed by like Troy or by Sherwin or whoever, you're getting screwed and you can be mad about it, but nothing will happen. And everybody knows it. Nothing will happen. And Russell laments the old days, and he did on that podcast. Nowadays, there's a sustained online presence that is centered around holding the USPSA board's feet to the fire. And it's been sustained. It's going on over years. Information is collected. Information's pushed out there to the masses. More and more people are seeing this stuff. And now things are starting to happen. And they really don't like it. So if you're part of the protest part of the movement, you want to change USPSA for the better, you should understand it's working. We're winning. Keep going. They're really annoyed. Really annoyed. And on the subject of internet stuff, like I said, Bruce Gray is back, baby. So I'll read to you his latest post, which was pretty stupid, but if he wants to keep posting, I'll keep talking about it because it's interesting. It's fun. Bruce Gray posts, I'm not disputing the fact that there are issues to fix. I'm standing against the notion, accepted by some, that we should follow those who seek to destroy people's reputations while irreparably fracturing the membership in the name of saving USPSA. Ben has set up a false choice for those who can turn a blind eye to his malevolent behavior, buy into his campaign, or be attacked as a shill for the legacy board of directors. Whatever. That's what Bruce says. So let me talk about a couple things here. The second part of this, or I guess the first relevant part, he says, I'm standing against the notion, accepted by some, that we should follow those who seek to destroy people's reputations while irreparably fracturing the membership in the name of saving USPSA. I agree. We should not follow those people who do that stuff. Who does that stuff? Well, let's talk about the legacy board. Okay? They kicked me out and they made all kinds of accusations, said I was lying. They said I was crazy. They said they collected a bunch of evidence about stuff that I'd said and I'd done, and made all kinds of accusations. They tried to destroy my reputation. They really did. And Derek Lewis as well, Insights. Shit, when they removed Yeeman, they put out a statement on USPSA letterhead saying that he was like a pervert, or they were saying that there was like sexual harassment stuff. They were intimating that it was far, far worse than dry humping people, like doing some horseplay at a match, which I'm not saying he should do, but then they're disparaging him as some kind of a pervert or a weirdo in official communications. They're doing this stuff in the name of saving USPSA. They're like, oh, well, we got to save the sport. Like, this guy talks bad online, and this Yeeman, he's an idiot. We don't want him as president. We got to save USPSA. So in the name of saving USPSA, they come after people and try to destroy their reputations. And I agree that that's wrong. People shouldn't do that. That's why I get mad. And that's why we're putting foot to ass online here. Because these guys are fundamentally fucked up the way they act. And I don't like it. I'm sick of it. I spent my adult life doing USPSA and related activities, and these guys got to go. They're a problem. That's my opinion. Like, what they've done to me and others to try to destroy people's reputations in the name of saving USPSA is not appropriate. It's not cool. And I agree with Bruce about that. See, but he thinks that's me doing that. I'm not in charge of anything. I run nothing. I post videos to YouTube and I make memes and post them to Instagram. I don't do anything. I'm not like trying to just out and out wreck people's reputations, but like if Russell Fortney goes on a podcast, like, yeah, you understand he's lying, right? Like, I'm not destroying his reputation. I'm just pointing out what he's doing in public. And other people are pointing it out too, and they don't like it. That's not like he's destroying his own reputation. And Bruce says, Ben has set up a false choice who can turn a blind eye to his malevolent behavior, buy into his campaign, or be attacked as a shill for the legacy board of directors. Whatever, says Bruce. Well, I mean, people who follow me, this is just not true. Like, most people do not care about these issues and just want to shoot. That is fine. No hate. More people get on board. The more people that get on board, the better. We probably need 10 or 15% of the active USPSA shooters to really get motivated. And I think that would be enough. That would be critical mass to start changing the organization for the better. Like, I have no problem if people don't get on board. No problem if people disagree with me. No problem with it. Bruce is actually a shill for the legacy board of directors, the same as he's a shill for SIG, a shill for himself. This guy's a bullshit artist, not to be trusted. All right? I mean, and he's pretending, again, like that stuff is happening that's not. Like, I'm not attacking anyone who's not on board. I'm fine if people disagree. So are a lot of people. Most people don't agree with me most of the time. Most people don't like me. And it's like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, that's no problem. The only people that get attacked as shills for the board are people that actively shill for the board. If you just sit back passively, say nothing, do nothing, you're just part of the landscape. I don't think anyone cares about that. And if you jump on, like, hey, we should change USPSA for the bell, like, there's issues here that are real. Well, yeah, that's cool too. You should do that. I mean, that's a good thing. So there it is. There's the latest. Good things are happening in USPSA. I think more and more people are getting on board by the day. I think things are going pretty well. So like I said, you got to keep up the pressure. The emails really annoy them, so keep sending them. The protest is being very effective. I'm hearing numbers now that I don't even believe. Like, they might be down in activity fees 30%, maybe more. I've heard 20% other places. I've heard higher numbers. I think we're going to find out soon what the numbers really look like and how big of a hit they're taking, and that will get their attention. And as that pressure is sustained or maybe increased, again, this is going to have an effect. So it's working. Keep doing it.